Good morning, guys. Let's dive in. This is the integer series, video A, intro to integers and number lines. All right, what exactly are we talking about with integers? Integers are simply any negative or positive number. You've been working with integers your whole school career. You've just only been working with the positive end through grade school. Now you'll work with negatives as well. Okay? We usually think about integers in the beginning most easily on a number line. So if we've got 0 here, first of all, notice you go to the right for positive numbers. You go to the left for negative numbers. That's not something you can change. That's how you need to write a number line. They always go to the right is positive, to the left is negative. And if you think about the XY axis later, that's the beginning of the XY axis, and then we draw another vertical line through 0, and we've got X and Y axis. Okay? So if we talk about some numbers like -4, it's right here. Or 5 is right here. And that's pretty straightforward as a concept. So let's start using those. What if we were going to say -4 plus 5? How would we start working to find that answer on a number line? Now, because we started at -4, we're going to keep that on the number line. But we are not going to have 5 on the number line at all. 5 is actually where we're going to move. So when we start at -4, we're going to move 5 units, and we're going to start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Which means the correct answer to that addition problem is 1. Now notice, there are 5 hops. That's how you move from -4 up to 1, is the hops, not the points. Because if you start counting at -4, you'll end up with 6 points on the number line by the time you get to 1. The movement is where we get each of those numbers in the 5 that we add. Okay, so we hop 5 times. That moves us to 1. Let's just do one more quick example. If we said 4 plus -6, we're going to start at that point on the number line. There's 4. Why are we picking that color? There's 4. And then we're going to move 6. Now, because it's a negative number, we're going left on the number line. We're going to go the direction of its sign. A -6 is going to move us this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just went a little bigger so you could see my hops. That lands us at -2. Okay, so if at any point you find you need to go back to the number line to work through an integer problem, by all means do that. Okay, it's an easy way to work through addition. We're not going to use it for subtraction, but we are going to see later that our subtraction becomes addition, so you can still use that number line and add to get that answer. Okay, all right, we're going to move from that to another way to add integers that I think is a bit more useful or user-friendly as we go. Let's talk about the way I like to teach integers. And that's with good guys and bad guys. Okay, let's do 4 plus 5. All positive numbers equal good guys. And all negative numbers equal bad guys. And the thing about good guys and bad guys, they love to hang out with each other, but they hate the other type. They will always fight and kill each other, fight to the death every time. So in this first case, 4 and 5, we don't see a sign. There's not any sign in front of the 4. So what is it? Well, you already know. Anytime the sign isn't written, we make an assumption that it's a positive number. This is because 99% of the time as you're growing up, it is a positive number, always, if they don't tell you otherwise. So from here on out, I want you to remember there is a sign on the 4. And if you don't see it, it's still there. It's positive. The second thing to know is that this addition sign is actually doing double duty. If I were to ask you, is that the add sign? Or is that the positive for the 5? What would you say? The answer is yes, it's both. Okay, so from here on out, the plus in front of the 5 is telling us it's the addition symbol connecting those numbers, but it's also the positive sign for the 5. So it turns out that when we write this problem out, we're giving all the information we need to deal with signs. Okay? It's a positive 4 and a positive 5. We could represent it like this. By the way, you guys should be taking notes, right? We're in that routine. You're writing this problem out. You're recording this information with me. If I'm writing it, you're writing it. Okay? So this would be a way, with all these pluses, to show what's going on in this problem. And it makes it really simple to get the answer. 4 pluses combined with 5 more pluses gives us a total of 9 pluses. Very simple, very straightforward. Likewise, what if we did this? -6 plus -4. Now, when I write it like that, I wonder, is it confusing to some of you guys if I have a plus minus right next to each other like that? It might be. And I can do this to make it less confusing for you. But know, if there's parentheses, it's adding a negative number. And if it's not parentheses, it's doing the same thing. Okay? What this problem is telling us is we're adding this negative number to the other number. Okay? So whether or not there's parentheses, if you see those 2 signs next to each other, that's what's going on. Now, if we wrote this out, -6 tells me 6 bad guys. I'd represent it like that. -4 tells me 4 more bad guys. And this problem is actually just like the one above because they're all of the same type. I've got 6 bad guys. I've got 4 bad guys. They're all going to get together, and what are they going to do? Probably rob a bank. 10 bad guys all together. Okay? Now notice, this is something some of you probably realize right now. You're thinking, Mr. A, you're making a mistake. 2 negatives make a positive. Okay? Good thinking, but you're in the wrong place. We'll get to that. But in addition, look here. Bring yourself back to this. In any kind of addition subtraction, we work with good guys and bad guys. So this group of bad guys is getting together with this group of bad guys, and they're certainly not going to magically become good guys. They're all bad guys. They're going to stay bad guys. They're just making a bigger group of bad guys. Okay? So what did we learn so far on this page? Let's write this out real quick. A positive number plus a positive number stays positive. It's just more positive. Okay? A negative number plus a negative number is just a greater or more negative number. Okay? Notice that the negatives are not canceling. That does not have to do with adding negative numbers. That's a different operation. Okay? All right. Now let's mix some good guys and bad guys. I know some of you are waiting for that. You want to see somebody die. Well, let's get there. So how about we do -4 plus 7? I'm going to represent this. Now we're going to see a fight. We've got 4 bad guys. and 7 good guys, what's going to happen? Okay, these guys are going to pair up. They're going to fight, and they're going to kill each other. The next set is going to pair up, fight, and kill each other. The next set, and the next. I know what you're thinking. Why don't these guys ever learn, or why don't they train harder? I agree. What's left over? The guys who were left over win the fight, and they're the solution to our problem. There you go. There were 3 good guys left over. They win the fight. Now, this is called a zero pair. You may see or have heard it called a zero pair. And that's when a single positive and negative cancel the 0. Okay? If that helps you understand and keep the concept, by all means use it. I will just generally talk in terms of good guys and bad guys. That seems to make the most sense. Okay? But what technically is happening is each of these 4, they're canceling out. 1 positive and 1 negative comes back to 0. It goes away. And so all we have left is that 3. Okay? We'll do one more example. What if we have more bad guys now? I'm sure you know what's going to happen. 6 bad guys come to the fight, 3 good guys. I'm already feeling sorry for the good guys. Okay, and when the fight starts, these guys all pair off. They all kill each other and cancel. And what do we have left over? We have 3 guys, but notice their sign. We have 3 bad guys. Okay, this way of thinking, this method can really help you in terms of understanding what's going on. And I want to point out as well, even though it says add, the symbol is addition. What it really means in this situation, put them together. Some folks might get confused because they hear add, and how the heck can a 6 and a 3 add to a 3? It should get bigger, it should become a 9, they may balk at that. Well, remember, addition means to put them together, and good and bad guys fight. Okay, so when we actually see add, if they're mixed signs, we're going to result in a smaller answer because there's going to be fighting, there's going to be death, there's going to be 0 pairs that cancel out. Okay. All right. Let's make this a little bit bigger because, to be honest, we've still got to deal with one piece of this. Why don't you guys go ahead and show me 54 bad guys and 83 good guys? Oh, you do not sound happy about that. I wouldn't either. Way too many negatives, way too many positives. We got to find a way to shortcut this concept. So really what's going on is we're going to start putting all these negatives and all these positives out. And I have seen this before on a test. I will put big numbers like this, and a kid who's still stuck at the good guy, bad guy concept with literally writing it out, I'll see this huge list all down the page. And it's kind of funny. But hey, they're working, they're learning, they're figuring it out. But we don't want to have to do that. So how are we going to shortcut what's going on? Well, the idea here is that we're just going to start canceling all these pairs. Okay, eventually we're just going to cancel. And that cancellation is really subtraction. And we can see right now the good guys brought more to the fight. So at the end of the day down here, we know there's going to be a whole bunch of good guys left over that win. We don't have to fill in all of this to find that out. So let's shortcut this. Let's make this something we can do on the fly without drawing all those pluses and minuses. What we really end up doing, and some of you already know, you're saying, Mr. A, we just need to subtract. Good job. Okay? So really, we can think of this as 83 good guys. And there's going to be a cancellation of 54 out of those 83 good guys. 54 are going to pair up, cancel, and kill each other. And whatever's left over ends up being the answer. So we're going to do our normal subtraction, and this is a great time to point something out. I see this a lot. If we were in a class together, I'd tell you to look to your buddy and tell him, is that right or wrong? And if it's wrong, why? Okay, I see that a lot, even in middle high school. We cannot add in the opposite direction. Kids look at two numbers, they think subtraction, and they'll subtract whichever direction is available. We can't do that. If I have, a little side note here, if I have $2 and I want to buy 5 donuts and they're all $1 a piece, I can't just in my head subtract and go, oh, that's $3. Or I'll get $3 change. That won't work. If I have 2 and I need to buy 5, I have to recognize I'm short by $3, which means that's a negative 3. Okay, that's important to note. The direction of subtraction matters. So in this case, we have to start the problem by saying 3 minus 4. I can't do that. Therefore, a borrow has to happen, and I need to go 13 minus 4. Okay, now I'm at 9. My 7 minus 5 is a 2. What that tells me is, at the end of all the killing, there were 29 left over of either good guys or bad guys. I might forget, which was it? Was it good guys or bad guys when they did all that fighting? And I just need to look at the 2 original numbers. Whichever number is bigger, he's the guy who brought more to the fight. The 83, remember, the add sign is also the sign of the number behind it. So those 83 were good guys. Therefore, the answer is also good guys. Okay? All right. We're just going to do a few practice problems. You guys, why don't you work? I'll give you a small one to start with if you want to do some plus and minus. But then you've got to be able to scale up. Go ahead and pause the video, work out those 4 problems real quick, and then turn it back on and see if you're right. Okay, I know some of you cheated. Turn it back off. You haven't done the work yet. Okay, so we're going to write out all of our minuses. We're going to put out all of our pluses. I'm getting lazy. I'm an old lazy teacher, so I'm just going to say after I get to the end of all my canceling, it's going to be 9 bad guys minus the 8 that fought and killed them, 1 left over. There were more bad guys that came to the fight, negative 1. I'm going to look at these 2 right here on the next problem. 32 is bigger, so I'm just going to bring the 26 over, and I'm going to subtract it. And at the moment, I'm going to ignore that negative for a second. I'm just doing subtraction of numbers. There's no signs going on. This is just, oh, you know what? I know what you're saying, and I just missed it. I'd like to say I was tricking you or checking, but you know what? I wasn't. Mr. Ray was in too much of a hurry. Did you see his mistake? What did Mr. Ray just do wrong? Do I need to be subtracting them? Is anybody going to fight amongst all these bad guys? No, I totally missed it. I was in a hurry. Don't do my mistake. 32 and 26. Those are all bad guys. They're going to rob a bank together. We're just putting them all together. 58. Now, if I do this, do you see another potential mistake of Mr. A's? Don't get in a hurry. Don't forget, I was adding bad guys with bad guys. Therefore, I need to put a sign on that answer. Don't forget. All right, here we go. Number 3. Now I'm knowing what I'm doing. They're mixed, good guys and bad guys. Okay, we don't see a sign here, therefore we know he's a positive. I'm going to subtract them. Okay, they're fighting and killing each other. 7 minus 6 is 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay, after the fight, there's 41 guys left over. And as I look at the two original armies, the good guys were stronger, therefore the good guys won, positive 41. And here we go, 39 minus 21. 18. More bad guys. And we're done. All right, that's this video. Peace out.